Welcome to Wise Wolf. I'm coming to you tonight under the full flower moon of May 2026, and tonight is also Beltane, the ancient cross-quarter day that falls midway between Spring Equinox and the Summer Solstice, the midpoint of spring. The 5 festivals of the old world were lit on this night. For the last 2 episodes, we've been moving inward, asking what exists in the dark before form. But tonight we come back out, into warmth, into fullness, into the question that sits at the center of everything we've been circling. So tonight's theme is love. What is love when you strip away the transaction? The full moon tonight sits in Scorpio, opposing the sun in Taurus. Taurus is all about what do you value, what can you hold, what can you acquire. Scorpio asks, what are you willing to release so that something deeper can be known? The lotus is worth staying with for a moment because it's one of the most precise images in the natural world for what we're exploring tonight. The lotus grows in mud. Its roots are in the sediment at the bottom of a pond, dark, decomposing material, the biological residue of everything that has died and sunk. And from that exact foundation, the stem rises through the water and the flower opens above the surface, clean and luminous, untouched by what it grew from. It doesn't grow despite the mud. It grows because of it. The nutrients are there. The conditions are there. The mud is not the obstacle. The mud is the ground. May 1st, Beltane. In the northern hemisphere, this is the ecological apex of spring, the moment when the year tips from awakening into abundance. The dawn chorus has been building since March. And right now it is at its most complex. Up to 50 species singing simultaneously at first light, each occupying a slightly different acoustic niche so they don't drown each other out. It's a coordinated broadcast across multiple channels evolved over millions of years to be maximally expressive without collision. In the meadows, bees are now visiting up to 2 million flowers per day per colony. 2 million. The mathematics of pollination at this scale means that the wildflower meadows you see in May are, in part, maps of the bee's attention. Every bloom that opens is a record of an encounter, a transfer, a relationship between an insect and a plant that neither of them chose and both of them depend on. In the North Atlantic and North Pacific, humpback whales are shifting their migration routes northward as ocean surface temperatures rise. They're moving toward their summer feeding grounds, the cold, nutrient-rich polar waters where krill bloom in the lengthening light. A humpback whale eats up to 1.5 tons of food per day at peak feeding, then fasts for months in the warmer waters where it breeds. The migration is a movement in rhythm with the ocean's seasonal pulse. And tonight, the sun will be above the horizon for more than 15 hours across most of the northern hemisphere. The light is genuinely abundant. It falls on the meadow and the pavement, on the whale and the krill, on the bee and the flower and the mud at the bottom of the pond where the lotus root is anchored. The sun doesn't ask, who deserves my light? It rises and the light goes where light goes. In Sanskrit, kama is love based on desire. I love you because of what you give me, because of how you make me feel, because of what I become in your presence. Calm is real and human. and there's nothing wrong with it, but it is conditional. It depends on the terms being met. Then one who has recognized that the awareness looking through the eyes is the same awareness looking through every pair of eyes, that person sees differently, not identically, not without discernment, but from a ground that isn't contracted around fear or need. The ancient text on the nature of devotional love described the highest form of love as not wanting anything in return. Not because we've become selfless through effort, but because the lover and the beloved are different expressions of the same awareness. It's much easier to love conditionally for some, to love as a transaction, to keep the gap clearly defined. In the Vedic tradition, the sun is the cosmic witness, Surya, not just a physical star, but the principle of illumination itself, the awareness that makes seeing possible. And one of the oldest descriptions of Surya is simply this: it rises for everyone. Not for the deserving, not for those who've earned it, not for those whose mud is clean enough, whose roots are deep enough, whose flowers are open enough. It rises and the light goes where light goes. Nature loves with the only love it knows, unconditional, responsive, precise. It doesn't withhold and it doesn't grasp. It simply moves in rhythm with what's there, possible across difference, who holds the bond not because conditions are always met, but because the bond itself is the thing worth preserving. Tonight, under this full moon in Scorpio, the sky is demonstrating exactly this. The moon, in its fullness, illuminates the mud at the bottom of the pond and the flower above the surface with equal light. It doesn't choose. The lotus growing there doesn't choose either. It simply grows toward what the light offers from the ground it was given. That's all for tonight. If you can, step outside before you sleep. Look at what the moonlight falls on. All of it, the beautiful and the difficult, the clear and the muddy. Let the light do what light does. The next episode arrives on the new moon, May 16th. Until then, grow towards the light from wherever your roots are. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there.